Almost midday. Good afternoon. Welcome to 12 Live Radio on Class 91.3 FM in Accra and affiliates across the country. If you're listening in the Volta region, this is Ho FM 92.5, Dagban FM 102.5 is speaking the bulletin live in Tamale, Radio 192.1 in the Upper West region, Radio Power 96 in Spain. Around the world, join us on classfmonline.com. Coming up in this bulletin, GPRT suspends planned 30% transport fare hikes pending next fuel price review.
As I'm speaking to you, the proposed 30% increment has been suspended for now, waiting for what will happen at the next price window before a final decision will be taken. All right, the 30% proposed increment has been suspended for now.
Also coming up in this bulletin, Chairman Wontumi apologizes to President Mahama, pleading that President give him clemency. We will speak to his spokesperson on this development.
Management of Valco rejects claim that company is being privatized.
And talking about individuals, Valco has not received any bid from Mr. Ibrahim Mahama. Neither is Valco being sold to Mr. Ibrahim Mahama. I want to make that clear.
Still to come, Parliament to begin debate on the 2026 mid-year budget review this afternoon. We are live in the House.
Subject to the conditions in the House being favorable to that, the minority and majority leaders will conclude the commentary on Thursday, 30th July 2026.
Coming up in African news, South Africa investigates death of Nigerian who collapsed during arrest. These plus many other stories coming your way in the next 30 minutes. You're live on Class 91.3 FM. I am Elizabeth Aidoo.
And I am Nanajman Prempeh.
Let's settle for the details of the news. The Ghana Private Road Transport Union has suspended its planned 30% increase in transport fares following discussions with the Transport Minister and the Ministry. The decision comes after a meeting with the Transport Minister, who appealed to the union to put the proposed fare adjustment on hold despite the continued rise in fuel prices. According to GPRTU, it will monitor the next fuel price window expected on August 1 before deciding whether to implement the proposed fare increase. The union says the outcome of the next fuel price review will determine its next course of action. Let's take a listen to the Deputy Public Relations Officer for GPRT, Samuel Amwa, who spoke to Class News after the meeting.
Yes, we are proposing 30% fare increment as it's already been circulated, and then the transport ministries, call the leadership of the transport operators, and then before the 30% proposal, we were asking the government to do something about the cost of the petroleum product. So when they called, the information given to the leadership is that it's possible the government is trying to do something about the cost of the fuel, and that we should just hold on with the decision of increasing by 30%. We should hold on for now. So what we also decided on is that the next price window is just around the corner. By Friday, we may see another price on the pump. So we just want to wait and see what will happen at the pump next, by coming Friday. Then we also know what to do. So as I'm speaking to you, the proposed 30% increment has been suspended for now, waiting for what will happen at the next price window before a final decision will be taken. No, there's not going to be an increment now. All right, the 30% proposed increment has been suspended for now. But we want to, the information given to us was that it's likely they are going to intervene and make sure that the fuel price will not get to where we are expecting to get to. So we are also waiting to see the next price window, what will happen at the pump. Then we'll also think of what to do.
That's the Deputy Public Relations Officer for GPRTU, Samuel Amwa. Meanwhile, energy analyst and executive director of the Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy, Benjamin Isia, has called on the National Petroleum Authority to sanction oil marketing companies and bulk distribution companies that charge fuel prices above the ex-pump prices they have declared to be the regulator. The NPA recently raised the official price floor for the second pricing window of July, with petroleum moving from 12 cedis 79 pesos and 13 cedis 28 pesos per liter, and diesel from 13 cedis 54 pesos to 14 cedis 35 pesos per liter. Despite these regulated price floors, some retail outlets have been selling at significantly higher prices, with petrol above 14 cedis and diesel approaching 18 cedis per liter in some locations. Speaking on Class News on 505 with my colleague Kwame Ochi Jr., Benjamin Isia questioned recent fuel price increases by some fuel retailers, insisting that Ghana's petroleum price regulations require operators to adhere to prices submitted to the NPA within each pricing window.
I think that NPA must penalize any OMC or BDC that is selling fuel price beyond the export price that they published or they sent to NPA. The law says that prices are expected to decrease or increase in windows. We are already in the second window of July, and most of these OMCs have published their export prices to NPA, which the law requires. So I'm surprised that NPA is...
That's the Executive Director of the Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy, Benjamin Isia. Let's go on the line and speak to the Public Relations Officer for the Concerned Drivers Union, David Aguado, joins me on the line. Mr. Aguado, were you part of the meeting this morning?
Good morning, my dear sister.
Were you part of the meeting this morning with the Transport Minister?
Yes, it's not this morning. It was yesterday that we went to the meeting with the Transport Minister.
Okay, so what was the outcome? Because some of your unions also went into a different meeting this morning. That's what I was asking. So what was the outcome of your meeting yesterday?
Okay, thank you very much. The meeting with the Transport Minister yesterday, we have all come to conclusion that we should wait till the next window, which is coming on Saturday, and we should come on Monday for further deliberation, because what we heard yesterday is that on Saturday, the fuel will be increased again by 7.5%. So if we haste and we increase transport fare at this time, when the 7.5 also come, we will come in for another negotiation. The answer is no. So we are putting all together in the same basket and then do it on Monday.
So on the Monday, who are you going to meet? Is it the same ministry?
Yes, we are going to meet the same ministry, because on Monday, the fuel will not be selling at 17 cedis, or the diesel will not be selling at 17 cedis, 59 pesos, and then the petrol to 15 cedis, the same 59 pesos. It will change from 15 to 17, and then from 17 to 20 or 21. So we have to put all the eggs in one basket. This is what we want to do. That's why.
So you're saying that it will change. Are you suggesting that on Monday you are going to push for the 30%?
Yes. On Monday, we'll meet again and then meet on the 30% or more.
Okay, so I will come to you after the next window. That will be on this Saturday. Then Monday we'll have engagement with you to know the next action. That's Concerned Drivers Public Relations Officer David Agbado.
Now, the incarcerated Ashanti Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, the NPP, Bernard Bosiakun, popularly known as Chairman Wuntumi, has apologized to President John Dramani Mahama and First Lady Lordina Mahama for any disparaging remarks he made about them during the campaign ahead of the 2024 general election. The revelation was made by spokesperson Palgrave Boachi Dankwa, who said the apology was a gesture of goodwill as Chairman Wuntumi serves a 20-year prison sentence following his conviction for illegal mining activities in the Samurai Boy forest. Chairman Wuntumi, Akonta Mining Limited, and a third accused person, Kwame Enchu, were prosecuted over alleged illegal mining activities on the company's concession at Samurai Boy in the Western region. The Criminal Court 4 Division of the High Court found Chairman Wuntumi guilty on all 6 charges brought against him, including offences related to unlawful mining activities and mineral rights violations. Joining us on the phone lines is a spokesperson for Chairman Wuntumi, Palgrave Boachi Dankwa. We are trying to raise the spokesperson for Chairman Wuntumi, Palgrave Boachi Dankwa, and when we get him, we will put him on the line for more. So we want to find out from him what informed Chairman Wuntumi's decision to apologize to the President and the First Lady, and also we want to know the current status of Chairman Wuntumi's legal cases, including an appeal against his conviction. But Elizabeth, before we raise Palgrave, what more other stories you have?
The Volta Aluminium Company, Valco, has dismissed claims that the state-owned aluminium is being sold, insisting it has received no bid from businessman Ibrahim Mahama and that government has not taken any decision to introduce a strategic equity. His comment follows growing controversy over the future of the company following protest by the Industrial and Commercial Workers Union, which has petitioned President Mahama to halt what it described as plans to transfer 70% stake in Valco to a private investor. The union argues that such a move could threaten jobs and also amount to the privatization of a strategic national asset. Speaking to Class News, the board chairman of Valco, Horace Ankra, dismissed the claim, stressing that the company has not received any bid from Ibrahim Mahama and that no decision had been taken by government to bring in strategic equity investor. Also, he said that the company has returned to profitability and is on the right path. He credited the company's management and workforce for turnaround and expressed confidence that Valco's future remains bright despite the ongoing controversies over its ownership. We'll bring you that sound bite right now.
That is why I'm saying to you that Valco is making profit. I did not say Valco stroke JADEC. I said Valco. It tells you that Valco, left alone to the board, the management led by Robert Sambien, and the hard workers that we have there currently, the future is bright. That's all it is.
Okay.
That's all it is. And
so,
if they say your people are not telling you the truth, I am not the people. We at Valco are not the people. If I have to say anything, I have to say it to my minister. And my minister himself recently even spoke about how Valco is making profit and how the first year of 2026 has been so good for Valco. His own way. I mean, the Black Cats are saying it. The JADEC CEO himself has said it on air at a point in time when these things shouldn't even go out there on air because government has not concluded on anything. You see where the confusion is coming from? Government has not concluded on anything at that point in time, and not even now. Maturity.
He also dismissed claims, stressing that the company has not received any bid from Ibrahim Mahama and that no decision has been taken by government to bring in a strategic equity investor.
Well, what I'm learning is what I have on the grounds at Valco, and that is that Valco in the last few years have started making profit, and Valco is on the right path. That is what I know as board chairman in charge of Valco. We are on the right track. We're making profit. Well, you see, these confusions are all because of certain things, even if they are in their embryonic stages. It's not palatable on air. What do I say? I mean, certain things when they are being spoken and taken care of among stakeholders is what makes life more easy. You understand? These agitations and all these things that you are seeing around yourselves is because somebody is saying A, somebody is saying B, instead of us putting A and B together and look at it holistically to the benefit of entities and the people of Ghana. And talking about individuals, VACO has not received any bid from Mr. Ibrahim Mahama, neither is VACO being sold to Mr. Ibrahim Mahama. I want to make that clear. My reaction is what I've just said. My reaction is just keep focused on VACO. And I'm happy that we adhering to the president's industrialization policy, VACO is now seeing profit. Certainly, I'll be concerned. But for me, at present, I know that yesterday's action was by ICU.
That's the board chairman of VACO, Horace Ankra.
Now let's take you to Parliament as the House is set to scrutinise the government's economic performance and policy proposals as debate on the 2026 mid-year budget review begins today, with both sides of the House expected to weigh in on key fiscal measures. The Minister of Finance, Dr. Kasiala Toforson, presented the mid-year budget review in Parliament on Thursday, 23rd July, outlining the government's economic performance during the first half of 2026 and its policy direction for the remainder of the year. The debate is expected to see legislators from both the majority and minority sides assess the government's fiscal performance, revenue mobilization efforts and expenditure plans. The minority is also expected to question the government's fiscal targets, debt management strategy and implementation of key economic interventions. The discussions are expected to continue over the coming days before Parliament considers and adopts the recommendations contained in the 2026 mid-year budget review. Let's cross over to Parliament, and our parliamentary correspondent Zita Okwan joins us on the line. Zita, what more can you report from Parliament today? What's happening in the chamber?
Well, Parliament is expected to start its proceedings. It was scheduled to start at 12 p.m. Unfortunately, at this time, proceedings haven't been started, and the bell also has not been rung for members of Parliament to enter into the chamber. But earlier last week, we heard the majority leader give out the business statement from the Business Committee informing Parliament that the commentary on the mid-year budget review is expected to begin today to the end of Thursday and have the House rise on Friday, July 31. Also, he mentioned that some ministers or 3 ministers have been scheduled to respond to questions asked of them during the week. So in this week, we are expected to have the Minister for Environment to answer about 10 questions and the Minister for Health to also answer 10 questions. And then finally, the Energy Minister to also be in the House to answer some 11 questions from members of Parliament. So currently, the proceedings in Parliament have not started. I'm believing that any moment from now, it will be started from Prempeh.
Right, very well. So that's a parliamentary correspondent, Zita Okwan.
The International Monetary Fund has concluded Ghana's 3-year extended credit facility program with the approval of the country's final review, unlocking more than $300 million in funding and also a new policy framework to guard the economy. The IMF Executive Board approved Ghana's 6th and final review under the extended credit facility, paving the way for the final disbursement, which is expected to be transferred to the Bank of Ghana in the coming days. The board also approved Ghana's request for policy coordination instrument, which would also guard the country's economic policies following the conclusion of the lending program. In addition, the IMF endorsed Ghana's 2026 Article IV consultation, approved a waiver for the non-observance of the performance relating to the cost-sharing arrangement for gold board operations, and completed the financing assurances review.
According to the ministry, the approval also unlocks a final disbursement of approximately $371 million to support Ghana's balance of payments, bringing total disbursement under the program to about $3 billion. The government said the successful completion of the program reflected the significant progress Ghana has made in ensuring economic stability, citing fiscal discipline, lower inflation, stronger external buffers, and the implementation of key reforms. With the ECF program now concluded, the government said it would begin a new phase of engagement with the IMF through a 36-month non-financing policy coordination instrument aimed at supporting its reform agenda and sustaining confidence in Ghana's economic policies. The government has pledged to protect the gains achieved under the program by implementing reforms to build what it described as a stronger, more resilient and more prosperous economy for all Ghanaians. Right, to some other stories now. More than 600 victims of the June 29 floods have qualified for the government's free passport replacement program following the verification of applications by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The initiative, launched by the ministry, is aimed at reducing the financial burden on flood victims whose passports were either damaged or lost during the disaster. Speaking at a press briefing, the Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa said the ministry received 705 applications before 17 July deadline for the replacement exercise. He explained that after verification by the passport office, 623 applicants were confirmed to have held valid passports at the time of the flood and were therefore eligible for the intervention. However, 82 applications were rejected after it was established that the affected passport had expired before the disaster occurred.
That has brought some relief to nationals who lost their passports during the recent floods. The ministry decided to implement a special intervention as our modest contribution to the response effort. So we announced the replacement of damaged and lost passports due to the floods of 29 June 2026. The initiative announced on 3rd July 2026 was introduced to ease the financial burden of affected citizens and ensure that this vital document, passports, which may have been lost or damaged, did not disrupt employment, education, medical, travel, or other legitimate international engagements. As at 17 July 2026, the application deadline, the ministry has received 705 applications for free passport replacement. Following verification by the passport office, it was established that 623 applicants held valid passports at the time of the floods and therefore qualified for the intervention, while 82 applications related to passports that had expired before the flooding and were consequently ineligible for free replacement under the scheme.
You hear the Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa. Elizabeth, what more do you have?
Efforts to clamp down on illegal mining in the Ashanti region have intensified after authorities retrieved 3 excavators reactivated by illegal miners at the Obuasi airport area. The Ashanti Regional Reclamation Committee recovered the machines during an assessment ahead of a land reclamation project in the area. The Regional Deputy Secretary Coordinator Alhaji Abdullahi Umaru said the excavators had earlier been demobilized by the National Security and National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, but were later secretly repaired and brought back into operations by illegal miners.
Last week, National Security and NIMOS came to do an operation here where we picked about 9 excavators and took parts of about 3 of them which were here. So as you can see, on our way here, we saw 3 of the machines still working. So we later realized that they are part of those that were in a way demobilized. We also found a way to get other parts to fix and get the machines back to work. See if we can get parts and fix them, then take them back to our yard, get the machines in a way. So it's the same thing that we are going to do. Anytime we go on an operation, we'll make sure we get all the machines from the site to our custody.
Meanwhile, the Obuasi Municipal Chief Executive Fossilava Apia has appealed for parts of the concessions to be converted into a community mining scheme.
You go and sack them today, tomorrow they will go back. If you are appealing to the Minister for Natural Resources, because of the problems that we are facing in Obuasi, if they can use, because the land is very big, being even using some for the military base, there are a lot of more there. If the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources they can come together and then give that place as a community mining for the good people of Obuasi. I think all these things, the Galamseyers, they'll all go there and and then destroying this land, going to this land, blah, 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 I think it will stop. So we are appealing to the Ministry of Land and Natural Resources to come to Obuasi, to come to our aid, to help us, so that we give that particular place up to the Galamseyers for them to use the place for mining. Again, Assembly, we are doing our best when it comes to reclamation. As we speak, we've done our part as an assembly. We've even decided to do a green farming in most of the lands that we've done a reclamation.
That's the Obuasi Municipal Chief Executive for Still Love Appear. Now, are you ready to review your fortune review scratch for winners here to change your life for good? Just dial star 850 star 5 hash and win up to 1 million Ghana cedis or more in cash prizes. It's easy, exciting, and it's regulated by the National Lottery Authority. Just dial star 850 star 5 hash. Now on all network, choose your station to play. Select stake amount for 5 cities, 2,000 Ghana cities. Choose your lucky card out of the 5 options. Confirm gameplay and enter your Momo pin. Receive your game results and winnings instantly. It's easy, fun, and exciting. Get ready to scratch, win, and live your best life with Review Scratch for Win up to 1 million Ghana cedis up for grabs. Review Scratch for Win. Scratch keke. Nadisika Bam. Not to some African news. South Africa authorities are investigating the death of a Nigerian man who collapsed while being arrested by police in Cape Town last week. Initial post-mortem results from the independent body that oversees the police conduct indicated that the deceased sustained multiple bruises on his back and chest. The Nigerian government has expressed concern over reports of circumstances surrounding the death, describing the alleged police tactics leading to the incidents as deeply troubling. Authorities are continuing investigations into that incident.
Alright, so still in Africa, another blow to the International Criminal Court (ICC) as Chad says it will join Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, and Venezuela in starting the process of quitting the tribunal. In a statement yesterday, the government said the ICC's effectiveness is limited and uneven, and accused them of focusing on African countries. So the court has only 7 people in custody, 6 of whom are being prosecuted in African situations, the statement said. The announcement comes amid allegations of Chad's suspended involvement in the war in neighboring Sudan between the army and paramilitaries. Elizabeth. Now it's now time for sports, and we have sports news for you. Stay tuned.
Class Sports. Get it first.
So in sports, former France midfielder Zinedine Zidane will take over as national team head coach. That's according to the French Football Federation posting it on X today. The appointment of the former Real Madrid manager comes 2 weeks after Didier's tenure as coach ended following France's 4th place finish at the World Cup. His final match in charge was the 6-4 defeat by England. Zidane, who is 54, is expected to begin his reign with an away UEFA Nations League game against Turkey before France hosts Italy at the Stade de France on October 2, I should say. The Shams, who left after 14 years at the helm, oversaw 185 matches and 120 victories, guiding France to the 2018 World Cup title, the 2020-2021 Nations League trophy, and the Euro 2016 and 2022 World Cup. Both share a long association, having been teammates in the 1998 World Cup winning side at home in France. Elizabeth.
So there are some agitated residents and drivers of Shaman Nyakum in the western region who have blocked some major roads leading to the poor conditions of the Shaman Nyakrum Road. The residents dug the trench across the road, preventing trucks from using the route as they protest what they describe as years of neglect and delays in rehabilitating the road. According to the protesters, the constant movement of heavy-duty trucks to and from the manufacturing plant has worsened the already deteriorated state of the road, making it difficult for residents and motorists to use. They say several engagements with authorities are repeated promises to fix the road have not resulted in any meaningful improvements, leaving them with no option but to take action. The blockade has also disrupted access to the 2 manufacturing facilities and affected other roads users, but the protesters insist the move is necessary to compel authorities to address their concerns. We'll go there and bring you live update on that subsequently right here on Class 91.3 FM. For now, this ends the Class News at 12 with me, Elizabeth Aidoo.
And Nana Agyemang Prempeh.
Kwame Ochi Jr. will come in on 5:05 with all the latest and what is happening around the world. Do stay and enjoy the rest of our programs. Good afternoon.